let's see if I can get the last 10 done. License plates in Rhode Island are in the form AB123. What is the probability that a randomly issued license plate will end in 444? Slim to none, actually. Extremely slim to none. But it's not that bad. It's not as high as you think either. But if you think about this, you could be any letter of the alphabet. That's a given. And then you could be a 4 and a 4 and a 4. So, let's just think about how many ways this could possibly happen. And of course, it is slim to none. I'm going to pause real quick and contemplate for a second to make sure I got the right thing in my head so I don't waste your time. So on deeper inspecting of this question, I've decided that it's bogus because when I looked at it, none of the answer choices made sense. License plates go 0 through 9. They use all the numbers. So the probability, we don't even care about what the first two letters are. The probability of getting a 4 should be 1 in 10. The probability of getting another 4 should be 1 in 10. And the probability of getting another 4 should be probability of 1 in 10. And this is 1 in 1,000, which is a pretty small number. 1 in 1,000 is 0.001, which is 0.1%. And you can see that's not there. The only other thing that makes sense is if they only use the digits 1 through 9, which I don't know, maybe they do, but I've been around a while and I've seen lots of license plates. If you do that, it'd be 1 in 9 times 1 in 9 times 1 in 9, which is 1 in 729, which also does not match anything that's on here. And you get 0.00137, which is like 1.37%. And that's the closest thing. It's a bogus question, and I asked a couple of others about it too, and I even checked with like the Golf app, and the Golf app agreed with what I was thinking, and that thing's usually right. So there's something missing in this question. They don't tell us certain scenarios that we need, I feel. But the best one is going to be the 1.5%. All right, what is the equation of a parabola that passes through the points -2, 6, 0, -4, and 1, 0? The easiest way to do this is probably by going to list 1 and list 2. Check this out. Stat, edit. Of course, you got to be playing along. Some of you guys never play along. Your x's are -2, 0, and 1. Your y's are 6, -4, and 0. And we go to stat, we go to calc, and we do a quadratic regression and check it out. Let's see. Looks good. So I'm looking for 3x squared plus x minus 4. Ta-da! All right, 52. One gym costs $30 to join plus $80 per month. The second gym costs $50 to join plus $60 per month. After how many months will the second gym cost less than the first? The easiest way to do this is sadly algebraic. Gym 1, we'll just call it Y1, is 80 per month, which is 80x plus 30. Gym 2 would be 60 per month plus 50. And what we want to do is we want to set these two things equal to each other because we want to know after how many months will the second gym cost less. Okay, so let me reword this. We want to say, when will 60x plus 50 be less than 80x plus 30? And then we just do algebra, right? 60 minus 80 is -20. And then 30 minus 50 is -20. When you divide through by a negative, you get a sign change. You flip the inequality and you get that x is greater than 1. Something else you could do, you could just kind of reason it out. So one gym is 30 to join, 80 per month. So the first month costs you 110. Then it's 80 per month. The next month it's going to be 190. And then we just keep adding 80, 270, and so forth. The other gym is 50 and 60, so the first month is 110. And then from then on, it's just add 60, so 170 and 230. You can reason it numerically too. I just don't think that most people would realize you could do that. And you can tell real quick that as soon as you hit the second month, it's cheaper to be part of the second gym. It really is. Anywho, move forward. Shane is driving at a speed of 80 kilometers per hour. She uses the formula distance equals rate times time to calculate how many miles she will have driven after 4 hours. What number should she substitute in place of R? Round to the nearest whole number if necessary. I don't understand why this is in Algebra 2. So she's going to drive 4 hours. The distance is the rate of 4 times the time. And the distance, sorry, the rate is not 4. Something wrong with me. The rate is 80 and the time is 4. I don't understand how that's Algebra 2. That thing was so simple it confused me. Like, why was it there? All right, the expression x minus 4 times x minus 5 could represent which of the following? So the remaining area of a square with side lengths x after 4 units were cut from one side and 5 units were cut from adjacent side. That actually makes some sense. The area of a rectangle with length of 5 units and width of 4, that doesn't make sense. The volume of a box whose length is less than 4 and then its width and its height. Now the problem with volume is length, width, height. There's 3 things. There's only 2. Nonsense, nonsense. The remaining perimeter of a square with a side length x after 4 units were cut from one side and 5 units were cut from the adjacent side. It's not about perimeter. When we do perimeter, we do like 2 lengths plus 2 widths, right? So it's choice A. It's the only one that made any sense. Iris and Leah want to save some money. Each week, Iris puts f of n equals 4 raised to the n plus 2 cents in savings, where n is the number of weeks she's been saving so far. Leah puts g of n equals 3 to the n minus 1 cents in savings each week. Iris and Leah start saving during the same week. In which week will they put the same amount of money into their savings accounts? So what they want you to do is they want you to figure out where 4n plus 2 is equal to 2 times 3n minus 1. Remember, I'm an algebra teacher, so I'm going to do this by hand. And then I'll show you how to do it in a calculator. 4 is 2 squared. Maybe you remember just doing this lesson. Maybe you don't. The goal was to make the bases be the same. And now that the bases are the same, we just pretend they don't exist. 2n plus 2 is 2n plus 4. 2n plus 4 must equal 3n minus 1. N's on one side, numbers on the other. 3n minus 2n is n, and 4 plus 1 is 5. The other way would have been to realize that you could have done a y1 and a y2. Nothing wrong with that. If you're holding a TI-84, you would kind of be a fool not to do it. You would be. So we have 4 to the n plus 2 and y1. So we got to use the x key. And we have 2 raised to the 3n minus 1 in y2. And then we do a zoom 6, just like I trained you. Now, the issue with using a TI-84 here is you're going to have to play with the window. You don't see the intersection happen. I'm going to turn off stat plots too because it's still on. Turn it on apparently on the previous problem. I don't know. I'm going to look up 1,000 units. And actually, I think a TI, you know what? Check that. Second trace 5. As long as the answer exists on the domain, you should be fine. Of course, I still did look up 1,000 units. But as long as it's on the domain, it should find it. Even though they're not intersecting yet, I think we can probably do it. Second trace 5 for intersect. I'm just going to get my cursor up there. I'm going to get my other cursor over here. I think it'll hone in on it. And it did. Intersection was at 5, even though you couldn't see it. It's the left to right that matters, not the up down. 56, a number cube with 6 sides, each of a different color, has landed on the blue side 8% of the time over the last 20 spins. What statement is about this probability is correct? Now, if you have 6 sides, you should land on each side about 1 in 6 times. Now, this is only true for very large numbers of times. So you got to run this experiment like 10,000 times for this to be true. It's not always true in the short run, it's true in the long run. But if you go to your little TID4 and you're like, okay, well, what's 1 over 6? You're going to get like 0.167 because that's what it is. It's roughly 0.167. So let's look at this. The more rolls are made, the probability will increase. That should be true. The more rolls are made, this probability will decrease to be 0. That's nonsense. As more rolls are made, this probability will increase to be closer to 25%. No, this is what it should approach. All right. And so it's obviously A, the one that's close to what it really should get to. All right. For items 57 and 58, use the system of equations. You're supposed to graph them. So let's talk about 5 times x plus 3 squared. She has been shifted left 3. That'll put you about, what, right here. She has an initial slope of 5. So we're going to rise 5 and run 1 both ways because she is a parabola. All right. And then we have 5x plus 15. 5x plus 15 has a y-intercept of 15. And bummer, we can't do it. So we can probably get close though. To find the x-intercept, we let y equals 0. So we're going to say 0 equals 5x plus 15. 5x would therefore be negative 15, which means that x is negative 3. So the line here starts there, and then she rises 5 and runs 1, and then she rises 5 again and runs 1. That's the line. Now, with that in mind, I can actually see where I intersect. I intersect here at negative 3, 0, and I also intersect again at negative 2, 5. All right, 59. The student council is doing research to find out how to improve school lunches. Select all the statements that are statistics. Statistics come from samples, which is fine. That's what they're doing. Of students who eat during the first lunch, 14% bring their lunch. That sounds like a statistic. 1 in 3 students at school bring their lunch. This is actually a parameter. Statistic is for samples. Parameters are for populations. So when you talk about example P here, we're talking about the whole school, which is a population. 15% of survey respondents would like a wider variety of food in the cafeteria. That would be a statistic. It would be. Because it's not about the whole population. 1/5 of sophomores bring their lunch. I would call that a statistic because sophomores are a sample of the population. And this is gibberish. So I would go with those 3. I could see that this could be treated as a parameter, possibly viewed as a parameter. I could see how a test maker would do that. They won't do that to you though. And the last one, the graph of an exponential model in the form f of x is a times b to the x passes through the points 1, 6, and through 0, 1.5. Select the points that are also on the graph. So they want you to write an equation of this thing and select what other points are true. And we did some of this, maybe not quite like this, but we did some of this stuff. Every point in existence gives you an x and y. So when y is 6, I am equal to a times b to the first. And when y is 1.5, I am equal a times b to the 0. This is really cool because b to the 0 is 1, so I actually know that a is 1.5. This tells me that 6 is equal to 1.5 b's because this guy goes to the first power, which means that b is 4. Now I have an equation that says f of x is 1.5 times 4 to some x. And now I can see which other points are on here just by plugging things in. This says if x is 2, y is 24. All right, so let's see if that's true. If I put a 4 there, or sorry, I put a 2 there, 4 squared is 16. And it turns out, whether I'm a button pusher or not, that that's 24. I know some of y'all just don't believe me. That's a you problem. That's not a Milbrath problem. That's a you got promoted way too far up in school. You should have been held back deal. 24. So this is true. If x is -1, y is 1. So let's find out what f of -1 is. I don't believe this is true because this becomes 1.5 sitting over a 4 because that's what negative exponents do. So no. F of -3 would be 1.5 times 4 to the -3rd power. That's 1.5 over 64. Probably not, but who knows? That was 1.5 times 4 to the -3rd power. Yeah, not it. We got 3 and 21. I don't feel that's going to be it either. See what happens. I would be sitting here writing it out on paper, but the truth is we're just running low on time. And then we got this guy right here. I think that guy's a winner. Now, where is it? We have 1.5 times 4 to the -1st power. I feel like that might be it. 0.375? It is. So is A and E. And that is 60 EOC questions. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. It's just the material I got to work with. And I have no idea what's on your test, to be honest with you. But there you go.